What little things do you allow in your presence that affect the culture of your business? And do they really even matter? Absolutely they do. Let's dive in and talk about that stuff today. Good morning. Thomas Joyner with Business on Purpose here. So glad you've joined us today. So I was sitting with some business owners all of last week, just talking through employees, right? And the little nitpicky things that frustrate them day after day after day. One of their employees went off on the owner in front of the entire team, literally got in his face and started yelling and cursing him out for 2 to 3 minutes. Another caught in the back room napping while on the clock, and even another had been caught saying that she fully finished an assignment and was caught in a lie. Any of this stuff sound familiar to you? Of course it does. It's these little things that in the moment you kind of just push aside because there's bigger fires to put out in other areas of your business. But what happens when you push these things aside and you never deal with them? You never expose the behavior or have a conversation setting further expectations. Well, those behaviors become accepted and they slowly but surely become ingrained in the culture. Good friend of mine had noticed some troubling behavior from the leadership in his business. And there were some small things that really just started to add up. And because he wasn't the business owner and he was on commission in his business, he thought, well, I'm just not going to rock the boat. It's not any of my business. Well, about a month later, we were talking about it, and he finally decided to do something about it when he heard this quote. What you allow in your presence is your standard. Whew, that's heavy. What you allow in your presence is your standard. And immediately he knew that by saying nothing, he was consenting to the behavior, not encouraging it, but failing to act and do anything to right it. So what are the little things that just get swept aside as you think, oh, that's not that big of a deal? Are there little shortcuts that your employees take instead of fully finishing a job and leaving it 95% done? Do they fudge on time cards as they think, well, I'll just round up a few minutes to get to the full hour of work? Maybe, like I said earlier, maybe they tell you they finished an assignment, but they really just did it halfway. You catch them in a lie and there's mistakes throughout. What do you do in those instances? Well, I can tell you some of the responses I've got from clients. They'll say, well, what if I call them out for it and they leave? I don't have anybody to replace them right now. I hear that all the time. And while that may be true, I think most employees, if spoken to with respect and without and apart from emotion, can handle accountability. But this is also the reason, right, for more frequent onboarding, training meetings, because when the only time you meet is to come down on an employee, that makes it way, way harder. But if you have a system in place to meet frequently, to praise often, and to handle accountability in a timely fashion, it becomes something that makes you better as a business and stronger as a team. Another response I get, Thomas, it doesn't matter. Even if I bring it up, they just don't care, and they probably will do it again. My response to that, how do you know? Maybe they're waiting to see if you care enough to call it out. Or maybe they're waiting to see if you care enough about them to sit down and lean in. But here's what I can guarantee. If it doesn't get called out, if it doesn't get addressed, it will continue and continue and continue to go on as long as you allow it. Because what you allow in your presence will become the standard for your entire team, and that cannot be tolerated. Or maybe a last response I hear, Thomas, I'm just too busy. I'm too slammed to get to that today. But when things slow down, I'll have that conversation. Well, guess what? Things will not slow down. There's always something else that's going to take precedent, and things are probably piling up because your team lacks training and accountability to do it right the first time. The more you push it off, the more these little things pile up and force you to deal with them down the road. No, deal with it quickly, deal with it respectfully, and deal with it efficiently. Draw the line in the sand for what your standard is every time you see a deviation from that in your team. So stop this video right now and ask yourself, what am I allowing in my presence that is affecting our culture? What's slowly become the standard that we never intended to? Write a few thoughts down, schedule a few meetings to address some of this, or find a tactful way to do it at your next team meeting. One of my favorite quotes by Dabo Sweeney, head football coach at Clemson University, is praise in public, criticize in private. It's powerful, right? Praise in public, criticize in private. Brag on your team in front of everyone, right? Give them all the praise in front of the team, but maybe pull them aside to address accountability, to address little things that you just need to get in front of with just them. Do it in private. Now, sometimes there's things that need to be addressed on a macro scale, but don't make the mistake of shaming or humiliating your employees out of an emotional response. No, be calculated, be fair, be direct, but always in private when you need to speak with one employee. All right, I really challenge you, take the time today to figure this out, to reset your standard. Do it right this second. If you push it off, there's not going to be the time later in the week. No, make the time for it right now. Reset the standard. Affect your culture positively and know that culture affects everything. That's what I got for you. Thanks so much. Have a great day.
Do you have a healthy business? Are you a healthy business owner? You can take the quiz right now. Just go to mybusinessonpurpose.com/healthy for the Healthy Owner Business Assessment. It's a beautifully designed assessment to walk you through different categories like vision, mission, values, clarity, and implementation. Also, the dynamics of your team, personality, and a variety of other general categories to help give you a score of the health of your business. Once complete, you'll have the range of your score along with an explanation video to help you understand some next steps into being liberated from the chaos of working on your business. So go to mybusinessonpurpose.com/healthy to take the assessment right now.